Hey, what's going on, guys? I am going live right now for the Holistic Health Bundle with Stacey from the Urban Pharmacy. And we were just on a live, but we kind of had some issues. So we're going to give it a try on my channel. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments box down below, and we will get to those. And let's see. There we go. Take three.
I will never let anybody onto the live again. I'm crushed.
Yeah.
Okay. I
don't think that's ever happened to me.
No, that was crazy. We're gonna need to let Amber know that somebody's tried to impersonate her. But anyways, welcome to the live, and thanks, Matt, for hosting.
Of course.
Where are we?
Yeah. So yeah, we were talking about our life transformations.
Yeah.
And I don't know, should we go over them again?
I don't know. I mean, if we want to save this video, maybe we just give a really fast, I'll just give a really fast, overview. Yeah. Matt and I are in the Holistic Health Bundle. It is available only through the 30th, and it is over $8,000 worth of content, resources, guides, recipe books, mini video courses, full-blown video courses, doctors, nutritionists, naturopaths, dentists, healers, yogis, breathwork practitioners, so many different things, so many different healing resources, and it's only $50, and it's available to everybody until July 30th. And Matt and I both contributed to this amazing, amazing bundle. Once it's gone, so you'll never be able to get everybody's resources like this unless you want to spend $8,000 and buy it individually from everyone. But Matt and I were kind of talking on our last live about just kind of our journeys to wellness, and both of us eat whole plant foods. We're super passionate about sharing that message with people. Also, my message is it doesn't have to be perfection, but the more plants that we can get on our plate, we can celebrate that. And both Matt and I were kind of talking about how we were raised and how we grew up with. Both of us had skin issues like eczema, breathing issues, asthma, super, super dry skin. We had all three of those things in common. I was also prescribed lots of antibiotics as a child, and yeah, chronic bronchitis. I was on anxiety medication, ADD medication. I was on Adderall for 10 plus years. It is a full thing that I told myself once I got pregnant that I didn't want to. I knew how to avoid that, right? I knew how to avoid that. And my parents didn't know any different. They thought that, these foods in a package, we were all protected. But the fact of the matter is we're not. And we have to be our own best advocates when it comes to protecting our and our children's health. And so in this bundle, I decided to put a mini video course called Nurturing Nature, Empowering Holistic and Plant-Based Kids, to kind of just plant the seed to help parents think more about adding more plants to their kids' plates, and how to get their kids to eat more plants. Getting them involved in the kitchen is one of the biggest things that they can do. Gardening, I showed some knife skills. Cohen shows how he cuts in the kitchen, and more that have to do with holistic living. And so that's my contribution. And I just knew that with all the problems that I had as a kid, I wanted to definitely help other parents figure out how to navigate this world with their own kids, and how to help them, be set up for success when it comes to their health in a holistic way. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, we have so much in common.
Yeah.
I wasn't on the Adderall or anything like that, but I definitely was taking the asthma medication. I was taking allergy medication constantly. Mm-hmm. I would always have eye drops with me, always. Yeah, and just the cortisol creams for the eczema, all that stuff. So,
did you have gut issues, Matt, as a kid?
I was definitely constipated. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same.
Yes.
That actually led me to a period of time where I got hooked on laxative pills.
Oh.
And so that was a rough go. But I figured out that, hey, I feel better when I take these. And I got hooked, and they're super addictive. So Linda said in the 90s we gave our kids canned and frozen veggies, which I do not do for myself now. Please explain why canned and frozen is not good. What's your take on that, Matt?
Well, my take is fresh is always best. I think for the average person, maybe that's transitioning into this lifestyle, I think maybe some canned vegetables probably wouldn't be the worst thing. Definitely get one with low sodium. A lot of them have a lot of salt in there, but yeah, I think the freshest you can eat, the best is the best, and you're gonna feel the best because it's not cooked and then canned and sitting on a shelf for who knows how long. I do think there is maybe an unmeasured quality or nutrient in plants as they're in the ground. We pick them, and then over time they lose that, kind of like a cell phone loses its charge. I think the plants carry a charge within them from the earth, and the longer they're disconnected from it, the lower their benefit to you. And so I do think the freshest you can eat is going to be, provide the most benefits.
Yeah. And yeah, definitely. Linda says extra sodium. Yeah. I mean, we live a whole food plant-based SOS, free of added SOS lifestyle, unless we occasionally use like miso paste to add like a salty flavor to things, which has been proven to not raise blood pressure the same way as like an isolated salt would. But that's a good question, Linda. And my take on this is I'm not fully raw. I do eat cooked foods, and actually when it comes to frozen, a lot of the times frozen can actually have a higher I mean, we're talking kind of like about like vital life force of the plant, right? Like, but that's what you're meaning, Matt. Like when it comes to like canning your food and stuff like that, it can destroy nutrients. Like for instance, I actually do can our own food. I can a lot of tomatoes because we have a farm. And when it comes to like tomatoes in particular, the lycopene, which is an antioxidant, actually is increased when it's cooked. So, but the vitamin C is totally reduced a ton. So it's like a trade-off. But that's really, when you're cooking food at a really super high temperature, there are going to be definitely lost nutrients. Now, when it comes to frozen food, especially frozen fruit, the fruit is not cooked. However, it is frozen. But the cool thing about it is that it's frozen at peak ripeness. So at least it's kind of locking in those antioxidants and nutrients, and it's not sitting on a shelf and like being transported across the globe and like losing antioxidants every single day by the time you get them fresh on the store shelf. A lot of the times they actually do taste better. Now a lot of veggies, they're typically, not all of them, but some of them like broccoli, they're dipped in hot water called blanching, and then they're flash frozen. So yes, you're losing some nutrients there, but there still is a lot of good nutrients. And I truly, Matt, I just believe in the hierarchy of food. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
For instance, like I've been living like a plant-based lifestyle for like 15 years or something like that now. And I used to be very against like tofu. And I'm not sitting here saying that everybody needs to eat tofu. That is not at all what I'm saying. It's a processed food. It is, but it is in our bundle because my son does like it sometimes. And I have learned about the potential cancer-reducing benefits of it. However, we all know the whole food's better. There's a hierarchy. Like if you're going to eat soy, if you can, eat the edamame, eat the frozen edamame, and then like the next level down would be like cooking them. The highest level of eating soy would be to sprout them, right? And potentially eat them raw if that's something that your gut microbiome is cool with. And then, then you're getting into like some more processing, like soy milk and tofu. And it's just funny. I'm I'm not like a big soy milk fan, but tofu is made from soy milk, which is interesting. But like in the recipe for the bundle, I say like, you know, you can do tofu and broccoli with barbecue sauce, or you can do beans and broccoli for barbecue sauce. There's a total hierarchy. Same with like grains for people who consume grains. Like if you're gonna eat oats, like the whole oat groat is the best. Then people get like the cut groats, which is down. It's losing some nutrients. It's unlocking the ability for the food to spike glucose, you know, or the blood sugar levels. Then you go into the rolled oats, which are kind of depleting nutrients even more. And like, then you get into the flours, which a little bit more, right? But I think the more plants that you can get on your plate regardless is so much better than any type of standard American diet in general. So yeah, especially with food that has added sodium and oil and salt, or I'm sorry, salt, oil, and sugar. Like those are the foods that got me hooked really bad. And I was so addicted to processed foods throughout my teen life and early 20s. And even just until like 3 or 4 years ago, I did not realize how addicted I was. So addicted. Like I would get the Brad's raw kale chips. Like I would buy them by the case because I would eat multiple bags a day. I was just hooked to the salt, hooked to the oil. It was like this dopamine. And I'm like, oh, that's so healthy. It's raw, you know. But there's a hierarchy for sure.
Yeah. I totally agree. I'm all in on that. Yeah, and when I, you know, I'm not like the dogmatic, you know, a lot of in the raw food movement are very all about raw, but no, I agree with you completely. And I think canning your own is amazing. You know, I think that's a great way to go. If you can can your own, that's it, because then you can control what's going in there, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so and I think we all know that, you know, like my grandparents canned, and you know, a lot of the older generations were dependent on canning and things, and they a lot of them lived long, healthy lives. So it's not, you know, I'm never going to be one to say, you know, all raw, you have to eat all raw to live a long, healthy life, because I definitely think that I haven't seen that as evidence. So yeah, I'm totally with you.
So Linda has a question. Do you eat any chicken or fish? I don't personally. I haven't had any animal product for like 15 years, except the one time that my brother-in-law, when I was pregnant, and I was so sick, I was so nauseous for 25 weeks with my pregnancy. He told me at Thanksgiving that the butter in the potatoes was plant-based. I totally believed him. He said it was made with like sunflower or something like that. And he honestly didn't know that existed. He didn't actually know that sunflower like butter, like vegan butter, was actually a thing.
Really?
And he thought that I would catch on that he was being sarcastic. And I did not catch on. And I sat down and I ate a lot of those potatoes. And I called him on the way home and I was like, are you sure there was no dairy in there? Because I feel horrible. And he's like, no, Stacey, there was. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, that was the meanest trick I've ever. Like, that was horrible. He's like, I so thought that you were just feeling so nauseous that you were just like, whatever, I'm going to have the dairy. And I was like, no. Oh my God. But my friend Jenny is asking, Matt, how can I do more raw? She did it for 3 days, tore her stomach up. I know her story. She was eating raw wraps and other stuff. So I sympathize with you, Jenny. Matt, what are your suggestions?
Well, I think so raw wraps as in like store-bought raw wraps, or homemade dehydrated ones? Yeah, I think the best way to go is to eat, you know, water-rich foods versus dehydrated, because obviously you need hydration to digest whatever you eat. And so the great benefit about many raw foods is that they're very high in water content. And so your body has a much easier time breaking that down without having to take from its internal stores to, you know, digest something that's dehydrated. Because, you know, when you eat a dehydrated item, like a chip or a cracker, it doesn't come out dry, right? So that means there's probably some water being taken from the body. And so I think that, going with more salads, I think salads are a great way to start introducing more raw foods. And again, depending on what your digestive system state is at and what foods you can handle, fruits are always an easy high water content option. But really, for me, in my transition, the salads were huge, and you might want to start off. So I make what I call 5-star salads.
Yeah,
and that's what I talk
that's
about.
in the bundle.
Yes, it's in the bundle. I have this book in there. It's called 5-Star Salad Revolution. And for me, getting into raw foods came through making these salads. It was the introduction basically that I had, was just adding in more salad. And I didn't start off just eating, because one of the pillars of a 5-star salad is to eat 1 pound of leafy greens in your salad. So to most people, that's a lot of greens, right? But you can work your way up to it. I'm pretty sure I didn't start off with that many. But again, everybody's different, so it's hard to say what, exactly how you should do it. But like, I started off with, my raw journey started with, the salads were before I even learned about raw foods. But once I learned about raw foods, I started with breakfast, and I started having fruit for breakfast. It was very hydrating, gave me calories, it just energized me. And then the next thing I did in the rest of the day, I would eat just my regular diet, right? Mm-hmm. So once I got comfortable with just eating fruit for breakfast, and which was usually a smoothie, then I would have like a salad for lunch, where I used to get like a sandwich at the shop, or, I'd get some other thing. But so then I started having a salad for lunch. And so I was having my fruit for breakfast, salad for lunch, and then my regular dinner. Once I got comfortable with that, I did fruit for breakfast, salad for lunch, and then I did a side salad with my regular dinner for a while. And then over time, that side salad continued to get bigger and bigger until it basically kind of pushed out all the other stuff. But then I switched to having fruit for breakfast, a smoothie usually. I call it SFS. So that's my meal design, or my daily meal design. It's smoothie, and then I'll have fruit for breakfast, usually like watermelon or mango or whatever's in season. And then for dinner, I'll have a big 5-star salad. So that was kind of how I progressed into it. I did it slowly. It was like over the course of like 8 to 12 months. And, I just went with how intuitively my body was feeling. I kept just feeling better and better. So I wanted to continue increasing the raw food. And not everybody, like I said, is going to go 100% raw. I've done raw for long periods of time, 100%. But I usually bounce back and forth between like 90% to 100%, depending on just my life situation. So
I love that response. That's awesome and helpful. I don't know why I can't get on board with smoothies. It's the weirdest thing. Yep. It's a mental block. Well, actually, I do. I do know why. Because I used to have processed food addiction, and we know that processed food is so easy to just go down. Like, it's already processed for you, so it's easy to get in the gut. You don't have to chew it like you would a piece of raw broccoli, right? Or something like that. In addition, the salt, oil, and sugar, I would just, and smoothie, like ice cream and malts were one of my, I'm not a smoothie. I'm just not a smoothie girl. Jenny's saying that. I'm just not. Yeah. I try to share smoothie recipes with my clients because they have like gut issues, and we know that like if we're pre-blending, like if we're blending the food, it's actually helping us it's kind of pre-digesting the food. Like it's making it easier on the gut. But for me, if I drink a smoothie, it's gone in like 2 seconds. And I know that they say to chew it. I know that they say to sip it, put it down and walk away. But when I'm hungry and I want to eat. And if I drink a smoothie too fast, of course I'm not going to feel well. But like that's just kind of going back for me personally to that where I would eat, I would go to like the mall and I would have an orange Julius. You know, do you remember those?
Oh yeah.
I made a homemade orange Julius, by the way, which was bomb, with like frozen bananas and just orange it, like, and hemp seeds. Oh my God, it's delicious. But anyways, yeah, I would go to the food court and I would get like the largest one, and I would be like barely out of the food court by the time it was gone. I mean, it was just, so I have this block right now where I feel like I'm not going to have control if I have smoothies, although I do think that it would be easier on my digestion. And for somebody who does have kind of a, especially like just personally, I had like viral overload over the last like year. Actually, it probably has been building up for 3 years ever since COVID, and then found out I had multiple other markers for viruses, and my gut has been kind of destroyed. So I've gone raw multiple times, and I always feel better. But then I started having histamine problems because my gut is so destroyed, like from the viruses. But thank goodness herbs have really helped me, like feel so much better. And yeah, melons for me are like top notch. They're so good for me. Jenny says, I need to blend a lot of stuff to help my gut. Yeah. Yeah, Matt, she says, I believe I can blend beans, but stick to low fiber to get started. Yeah, I had to do some low fiber stuff, like even to the point of like white rice, but I didn't want to fast. I didn't want to fast because I like to eat. So there's that. But, you know, we're all on our own healing journey. Sherry says, what do you say to that, Matt, about, I don't even know what she was, but we were talking about. Well, what do you?
So what about like a smoothie bowl for you? Would you do better with a smoothie bowl?
I've thought about that, where you're topping it with things where you're forced to chew.
Right.
I've
you
heard all
a spoon.
I've heard all this. Like I went through Dr. Will Bolsewitz's gut health like course 2 times so that I can help my clients. This is what I tell my clients. I just don't practice it myself. It's a total, I have a lot of self-discipline when it comes to food, but when smoothies scare me. I don't know. Smoothies are so good for you, but maybe tomorrow I'll try a smoothie and see if I can control myself. I think that if I do like a nice cream smoothie where it's more frozen, like I love nice cream, and to me that's like a smoothie, you know? It's just not liquid form. It's just not as easy to go down. So
cool.
Somebody also asked Matt, and I would love to know what your take is on this. I think it was Linda earlier. She said she's going to get the bundle, and how do we get protein? She's 60, and it's really important.
Well, funny you ask. I have a book about leafy greens. Yeah, I mean, leafy greens, I think, are the ultimate protein food. I mean, you have to eat a lot of them.
Algae.
They're not the most concentrated. What's that?
I said an algae.
Yes,
but you have to eat a lot.
Exactly. I just think greens are so important in no matter even what diet you're eating. It doesn't matter if you're vegan or raw vegan or what. I think having at least one meal of your day be a salad as the main course. I believe that's what Dr. Furman promotes.
That's what like so many of the doctors. Yeah, I mean, Furman, I was just at a conference with him, the NHA conference.
Cool. Yeah,
his plate, like he was sitting with like Dr. Esser and Dr. Goldhammer. Esser is pretty like raw. He eats a lot of raw food, but he was eating some cooked like sweet potatoes and steamed veggies. Furman came over with like a plate that was so big of raw, and like he was just easily assimilating, like it just ain't no thing. And he's like, get a huge salad in every single day. And a lot of doctors that really know what's up say the same thing.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
And before you finish the thing, because I'm being so rude and interrupting you, I know I'm going to forget. I'm going to forget if I don't say this. Like, I've been in bundles with Matt before, and Matt creates amazing resources. The resources they're so thorough. So any questions that you have probably about protein or about getting the proper nutrition or how to best digest, like I guarantee it's all in there because Matt seriously lays it out so well. And I just really appreciate that, Matt. So that's another reason why people need to get the bundle. Now keep talking about protein because I like could learn from you all day.
I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Yeah, so I just think greens, I think a big leafy green salad, if you're concerned about protein, that's what I would recommend. And you can put in other protein rich plant foods, like you could do sprouted lentils or sprouted peas or cooked ones. You can put cooked ones in there too. You know, you can put other steamed vegetables, you can put steamed potatoes or whatever you like into your salad, but just make sure the bulk of it is, you know, so a 5-star salad. I'll just tell you the quick 5
Yeah.
pillars.
Tell us the basics.
Yes. So the first pillar of 5-star salad, and this is the foundation, it is at least 1 pound of leafy greens, which probably sounds like a lot to people, but once you've done it for a little bit, it's almost like it's not that much. I mean, honestly, I picked up like 8 heads of romaine from the farmer's market today, and each one of those is probably a pound in itself. So, I mean, you know, it's just perspective and just what you're used to. So, you know, if it's too much at one time, work your way up to it if you desire to. And I'm never going to say strictly like cookie cutter, everybody should do the same thing. You know, do what works for you. But this is what has worked for me and for a lot of the people that I've worked with. And yeah, so yeah, the first pillar is 1 pound of leafy greens. And that's usually going to be a type of lettuce, like romaine or green leaf or red leaf, whatever lettuce you like. And then the second pillar is to have at least some of a cruciferous leafy green. So kale or collards or arugula or cabbage, you know, something. These leafy greens not only have more, you know, another element of different nutrients in them, but they also are a little more calorie dense than the lettuces. So like kale's like 3 times more calorically dense than romaine. You know, not that either one is going to give you a huge amount of calories, but in terms of greens, the cruciferous are usually a little bit higher in greens or in calories. So then the third pillar is to have a little bit of whatever fresh herb that you like. So cilantro or parsley or dill or basil, you know, whatever flavor you love, you know, that's going to add more flavor and also more micronutrients, more antioxidants and all these great things. So and then the fourth pillar is to have at least 5 different colors in your salad. So that's going to give you all those nice polyphenols and other antioxidants. Each different color has a different antioxidant, a different phytochemical that's going to benefit not only internally your body, but also your gut microbiome, because the polyphenols act as prebiotics to your good bacteria. So they can make short chain fatty acids and all these great compounds with the different polyphenols and fibers and everything we're getting. So then the fifth and final pillar to top it all off and to just pull it all together is a homemade whole food salad dressing. No oil, you know, ideally probably no salt, but you know, if you want to have a little, I think a little bit for the average person is probably okay if you're eating like a really healthy diet. But if it's like a trigger for you, then you probably don't want to, you want to stay away from that. So yeah, that's, and then I put 17 brand new at the time, you know, when the book came out, they were my 17 newest salad dressing recipes, and they're super simple. They're very easy. There's no hard to find ingredients. It's all, you know, very simple stuff, but very delicious. They're some of my really favorite ones, and I'm not just saying that because it's my new book, but yeah, I think you guys would really enjoy trying those dressings and the salads and incorporating more leafy greens and more raw foods in your diet.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I have very, very large intentions to get back on the salad game. Like I have, again, as I've been healing my gut through like this viral overload and stuff like that, things have just been pretty hard to digest, and raw foods are just so beneficial for us, and salads are amazing. I'm so serious, Matt, that I have a brand new thing that is sitting in a box in my hallway, and I haven't opened it yet, but I'm very excited about it. And it's called the Holland Mill Bowl. Have you heard of one?
Sounds familiar. I don't know what it is though.
Well, Chef AJ uses one, I think. Maybe you've heard about it there. Tammy Kramer from the Nutmeg Notebook, they use it too. Other plant-based influencers use it, and I was like, I need one. And it's a very silly, expensive, one whole piece of wood bowl. It's a huge, I got the biggest one they have.
Cool.
Because when I make my husband salads, which is almost every single day, like he eats better than I do. I'm like, I'm gonna have some white rice because my stomach, my gut is like not good, and you're gonna have this salad. Same with my son. To feed 3 people, I got the largest one, and it comes with this really cool rocking knife. And so it's like a mezzaluna knife or whatever. I think that's what it's called. So I'm going to be able to chop my salads up super, super small, which I know will make it so much easier on the digestive system. It's kind of like chewing for you, but of course you need to chew your food, so like a liquid state, which I think a lot of us don't do. Personally, I don't do. I'm pretty bad at it, which is why ice cream is so friendly for me, because that is a blended food. But I got this awesome bowl, and I'm so excited. I even got it engraved with the Urban Pharmacy. So I'm serious about my salad game. And now I can be like, guys, I'll probably do a YouTube over this bundle and be like, okay, I'm going to probably I won't share your recipe, but I'm going to make a salad from your book, Matt. And I'm going to be like, all right, this is the basics. Now, if you want all of these amazing dressings and stuff, you got to get the bundle so you can unlock 5-star salad revolution.
Yes.
Jenny says, I see those wood knives and salad chops, and they're totally, I mean, people use them for pizza and stuff like that, but this knife like fits perfectly in the bowl so that you can, I'm so excited about it. I think I'll have it forever. It'll be a good thing. So, and I will also say,
do you get
I got it at hollandmillbowl.com.
Okay.
I'm trying to become an affiliate with them because I'm like, I know I'm going to get real serious about my salad game, and I'm going to share this bowl. And like, it is expensive, I will say, but like, I'm thinking Christmas presents, like people who want to be serious about their salad game want to have a really pretty bowl to make their salads in. And it's like all one piece. There's no glues, it's all one piece. I was like, I reached out to them. I'm like, I'm going to share this. So, I want a code. I want my people to get a discount on this because it was expensive. I got a discount through Chef AJ. So you could Google that in the meantime if people want to get that. And then somebody asked about oxalates. Personally, I think that for people maybe with like autoimmune or compromised immune systems, or potentially people who just leach calcium easier than others, having too many oxalates in some leafy greens like spinach or Swiss chard can be a problem for people, but I personally think that it would be like if you're eating it every single day in large amounts, it could become a problem. But some people are super sensitive, and so I think that it's individualized, and I wouldn't recommend eating high oxalate foods every single day. That's just my personal opinion. I want to know what you think, Matt. But I think kale is it's a low oxalate, high calorie dense, high protein green. Also, it has, the ability for us to create sulforaphane, which is a cancer fighting component. And I made a kale nice cream a few nights ago and had that for dinner. And I didn't weigh the kale, but I know it was a lot. And so that's how I get a lot of kale in for a sensitive gut at this time. But what do you think about oxalates? I thought for a long time that it was like overhyped, but now that I'm learning more, I think that they can be a problem for some people.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, they definitely can be a problem for some people. Usually that's going to be people with digestive damage to their digestive tract or impaired kidney function. For the most part, like you said, if somebody was concerned about oxalates, I would say, avoid high oxalate greens like spinach and chard and beet greens, and rhubarb. I don't know that a lot of people eat rhubarb, but then you can still eat a very healthy diet, just eating the lower oxalate greens. But I mean, there's oxalates in so many foods, you know,
Yeah.
like sweet potatoes. And most people aren't worried about eating sweet potatoes when, yeah, maybe some
Right.
if they're super sensitive. But, you know, oxalic acid, the liver makes oxalic acid. And so it's not like it's some foreign thing to the body. It's really most of the concern I do think is overblown, other than
Yeah.
for that small population of people with maybe a lot of antibiotic use, or you know, other issues. Gastric bypass surgery is another thing that gives people issues with oxalates. But most of the dietary oxalate that we consume does not even get absorbed because it's already, like in leafy greens, other than in spinach and the other ones, it's already bound to the calcium and magnesium, and so it doesn't get absorbed. We actually just poop it out. And so the urinary excretion of oxalates doesn't, from the research I looked at anyways, it doesn't impact our urinary excretion. So the dietary oxalate that you consume has very little impact on the excretion of oxalates through your urine. And so that's why I do think it is a little overblown, but like I agree with you completely that if it's somebody that you know, is worried about it, has one of those issues going on, then yeah, just avoid it. You know, as much as you just avoid the highest ones, because it's going to be difficult to avoid it completely because it's in.
Yeah. Yeah. Another, like, if you're like really obsessed with spinach and you really want to have spinach, like another thing is you could cook it and drain some of the cooking liquid to reduce the oxalate exposure. Again, you're going to be losing nutrients that way, but that's just like another potential
Yeah.
workaround. Somebody asked, they prefer yams over sweet potatoes. Is there a nutritional difference?
I'm actually not that sure. I don't know. There might be, but I doubt it's that much.
They're pretty similar. That's kind of like asking like a plantain versus a banana.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that if you're gonna eat yams, maybe have a little sweet potatoes too, to diversify the different types. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I just got a delivery from Hawaii because I order purple Hawaiian sweet potatoes from Hawaii.
Cool.
Because I like to get the different colors. I think they're so much better than orange. And yeah, all different colors. I mean, we have white, we have the red, we have the purple. So yeah, diversifying all the different plant foods is, like you said, Matt, earlier, like is going to create short chain fatty acids, all the different varieties of fiber. And that's why like a 5-star salad revolution, which is or 5-star salad, which is in the bundle, which is at the link in either of our bios, having a salad every day is one of the best and easy ways, that and smoothies, to diversify the gut microbiome. So you can add all different, you know, types of plants. Jenny says yams are supposed to be original fruit, so should have more nutrients, but depends. Cool. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to add, Matt? I mean, we were going to talk about mindset, but I feel like we covered so much tonight.
Yeah.
And for anybody that's just tuning in, or if you for the 10 people that are watching right now, like if you haven't gotten the holistic health bundle right now or yet, I highly suggest going to either of our bios and clicking the link to get it. It's going to be the best $50 that you spend this year to take your health back. And like I said, Matt, I've been in bundles with you before, but they've always been raw or plant-based bundles. Mm-hmm. This is totally different because this is addressing so much more than just food. It's addressing mindset, mind-body connection, toxins, you know, raising kids, overcoming trauma, mold, so many things that I don't think a lot of us are thinking about when it comes to our healing journey. So make sure that you get the bundle because it's so awesome. It's so good.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I like I was saying, I was scrolling through it. Yeah, there's such a wide variety. Like it's not just about how to eat. It's about how to detox your home, and it's about how to have holistic oral health, oral practices, and, like you said, raising children and all this sort of stuff. So there's a huge variety of things to learn. And yeah, I mean, I am not surprised that the value was over $8,000, because it's 117 different products, and they all look really great. So yeah, I think everybody should.
I agree. Well, Matt, thank you so much for your time and your wisdom and your education. I know everybody appreciated it so much. And guys, get the bundle if you haven't. And thanks so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Stacey.
Bye. You're welcome. Be well.
Take care.